The Curious Case of Dr. Blackwood. Ambrose Wainwright, a young and ambitious journalist, gazed out of the window of his modest home in a small English village. It was a foggy morning, and the distant church bells announced the arrival of a new day. His career had been filled with local stories, but he yearned for something more, a tale that would captivate readers and establish his name in the world of journalism. As he sipped his morning tea, Ambrose noticed an unusual envelope on his table, its edges lined with a deep crimson ink. He picked it up and carefully opened it, revealing an elegantly handwritten letter. The words on the page sent a shiver down his spine. Dr. Blackwood, a reclusive and enigmatic scientist, had invited him to his secluded mansion for an exclusive interview. The letter hinted at groundbreaking discoveries that could alter the course of history, and the prospect of such a story left Ambrose's heart racing. He set out for Blackwood Manor later that week, his mind filled with excitement and anticipation. The journey took him through the verdant countryside and along winding roads that seemed to lead nowhere. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Ambrose finally caught sight of the imposing Gothic mansion. Blackwood Manor was an eerie sight, with its ivy-covered walls, darkened windows, and the sinister silhouette of a raven perched upon a gargoyle. The thick fog that surrounded the property seemed to swallow the light, leaving the manor shrouded in an impenetrable darkness. Despite the chilling atmosphere, Ambrose's journalistic instincts pushed him forward, and he approached the massive oak door. A gust of wind blew through the trees as he raised his hand to knock, causing the door to creak open slowly. Dr. Blackwood stood in the doorway, his tall and gaunt frame casting an ominous shadow. His wild mane of silver hair and deep, piercing eyes seemed to bore into Ambrose's soul as he extended a bony hand in welcome. "Mr. Wainwright," he said, his deep, resonant voice echoing through the mansion's vast halls. "I've been expecting you." Ambrose hesitated for a moment, then firmly shook Dr. Blackwood's hand, feeling the coldness of his grip. The scientist led him through the dimly lit corridors of the mansion, each room more fascinating than the last. They were filled with books, peculiar scientific instruments, and exotic artifacts from distant lands. Dr. Blackwood was eager to share his passion for science and his research on the human mind. He spoke of untapped potential, hidden deep within the recesses of the brain, and of the endless possibilities that lay within the secrets of human consciousness. As the days went by, Ambrose found himself enthralled by the brilliant mind of Dr. Blackwood and the mysteries that filled the mansion. At night, Ambrose would lie awake in his guest room, his mind racing with questions and a growing sense of unease. The mansion seemed to whisper secrets in the darkness, secrets that beckoned to be discovered. It was during one of these restless nights that Ambrose decided to explore the manor, seeking answers to the questions that haunted his thoughts. Armed with a flickering candle, Ambrose ventured into the depths of Blackwood Manor, the eerie silence punctuated by the creaking floorboards beneath his feet. He felt a mixture of fear and curiosity as he navigated the labyrinthine hallways, each step revealing hidden rooms and secret passageways that seemed to defy the mansion's architecture. In one room, he discovered a vast library filled with ancient tomes and scrolls, their spines bearing the names of long-forgotten scholars and forbidden knowledge. Another room contained a bizarre collection of specimens, preserved in glass jars and suspended in strange, luminescent fluids. Yet, as fascinating as these discoveries were, they paled in comparison to what he found behind a locked door at the end of a dimly lit corridor. His curiosity piqued, Ambrose managed to pick the lock and cautiously pushed the door open. The room was unlike any he had seen before, filled with an array of complex machinery and monitors, their screens casting an eerie glow. But it was the human subjects, connected to the bizarre devices, that truly horrified him. Their bodies appeared lifeless, yet preserved in a state of suspended animation, their faces etched with expressions of eternal torment. Shaken by the discovery, Ambrose hastily retreated to his room, his mind reeling with questions and the terrible weight of his newfound knowledge. He knew that he must confront Dr. Blackwood and demand an explanation for the macabre scene he had witnessed. The following morning, Ambrose found Dr. Blackwood in his study, hunched over a pile of documents, his eyes hidden behind a pair of thick glasses. With his heart pounding in his chest, Ambrose confronted the scientist, detailing the horrors he had uncovered in the hidden room. Dr. Blackwood sighed and removed his glasses, his gaze meeting Ambrose's for the first time since their confrontation began. He spoke in a calm, measured tone, explaining that his experiments were attempts to achieve immortality by harnessing the power of the human mind. The subjects in the room, including himself, had been carefully chosen to explore the limits of consciousness and the preservation of the human soul beyond the boundaries of life and death. As Ambrose listened to Dr. Blackwood's chilling confession, he found himself torn between his journalistic duty to expose the truth and the potential consequences of revealing such a world-changing discovery. The scientist urged him to consider the benefits of immortality and the advancements in science that could be achieved by unlocking the secrets of the human mind, insisting that the ends justified the means. For days, Ambrose wrestled with his conscience, his thoughts consumed by the choice he had to make. He knew that revealing the truth would bring an end to Dr. Blackwood's experiments, but at what cost? The prospect of immortality and the potential advancements in science weighed heavily against the horrifying methods employed by the scientist. As the days turned into weeks, Ambrose found himself spending countless hours pondering the ethical implications of Dr. Blackwood's experiments. He walked the misty grounds of the manor, his thoughts a swirling storm of conflicting emotions. The once ambitious journalist now faced the most difficult decision of his life. In the end, Ambrose made his choice. He would protect Dr. Blackwood's secret, believing that the potential benefits outweighed the horrifying methods. As he revealed his decision to the scientist, Dr. Blackwood appeared relieved, yet his eyes betrayed a flicker of something darker, something Ambrose could not quite identify. Unbeknownst to Ambrose, Dr. Blackwood, fearing that the journalist might eventually change his mind and reveal the truth, had devised a sinister plan. The scientist had been secretly monitoring Ambrose's thoughts and emotions through a device he had hidden within the manor. He knew that the only way to ensure his experiments would remain hidden was to subject Ambrose to the same experimentation, trapping him in a state of eternal consciousness. One fateful evening, as Ambrose lay in his bed, he felt a sharp prick in his neck. Before he could react, his body began to grow limp, and darkness enveloped his senses. When he awoke, he found himself in the hidden room, his body connected to the same machines that had once horrified him. Dr. Blackwood stood over him, his deep voice a cold whisper as he explained the journalist's new fate. "You see, Mr. Wainwright, immortality is a double-edged sword. In seeking the truth, you have become a part of the very secret you sought to protect. Your mind will live on, but your body will remain trapped in this eternal slumber." And so, Ambrose Wainwright, once a young and ambitious journalist, became a prisoner within his own mind, his consciousness suspended in the space between life and death. Years passed, and the story of Dr. Blackwood's research remained a mystery, leaving the world to ponder the true nature of his experiments and the price we are willing to pay for immortality. Blackwood Manor, now abandoned and consumed by the encroaching forest, stands as a silent testament to the secrets it once held. The wind howls through its empty halls, and the eerie whispers of the past remain locked away, a chilling reminder of the choices we make in pursuit of knowledge and the cost of ambition.